Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So it should be pretty obvious that we are in the midst of a major bull run. Bitcoin has roughly hit 100K, or maybe it's a few $100s shy. But a lot of people are wondering what exactly is going on, because usually when Bitcoin is pumping, it doesn't necessarily pump at the exact same time that all the alts are. So I just want to show you real quick, if I look at CoinGecko right now, I'm not really seeing, oh, maybe things have changed. Let's have a look real quick. Okay, all right, so maybe this is a very good time to start the video. So yeah, altcoin market looks like it's starting now, but we want to be really specific, and I'm going to show you a couple of tools that you can use to determine when it's going to start. Now, usually what happens is Bitcoin, all the money tends to flow into Bitcoin first. Bitcoin is the safer asset, and when there is a overall crypto bull run, Bitcoin goes up first. Now, how long that period lasts, no one can tell. It depends on whether this is like a larger cycle-based bull run, or maybe it's just like a very small micro-based bull run that happens over the pumps and dumps over a few weeks. But for the most part, Bitcoin is going to run first, right? And it might be running for a few weeks. It could be a few months. And then once people kind of get tired of the Bitcoin gains, once they start to see that the gains are petering out and they don't believe that it's going to go any further, then that's when people start to get greedy. The water kind of spills over from the sides, and then it goes into these small altcoins. So that's the cycle. First is Bitcoin, then the larger market cap coins, and then the smaller market cap coins. And it looks like maybe, and again, I'm just speculating, and this is not financial advice, it looks like we are going from that first phase into that second phase right now as I speak. Bitcoin has been massively outperforming altcoins for quite a while, and I'm going to show you some tools that are going to help you see things from my perspective. So again, I'm not really a huge TA fan. I know a lot about it and I use it, but it's only good if you're using it in a general sense. If you're going to use it to try and speculate and time the market on a minute by minute or daily basis, you will get wrecked. Do not do leverage trading. Be very careful. But using technical analysis, if you're looking at a very wide time frame to do very general acts, I think can be very useful still. So what I've got here is a chart called BTCD. BTCD means Bitcoin dominance. So in the total cryptocurrency market cap, which I believe is now 3.5 trillion or something like that, I'll have to look at the numbers. The majority of that number for most of the time that crypto has existed has been Bitcoin, right? Up until 2017, when Ethereum really picked up the pace and created the avalanche of altcoins spawned from Ethereum. For the most part, cryptocurrency is dominated by Bitcoin, and that number tends to go up. The percentage of cryptocurrency that is Bitcoins tends to go up during bear markets, and then it tends to go down significantly during bull markets. So as you can see here on the chart, when the last bull run happened, starting in 2021, you can see the Bitcoin dominance, it was all around here. It was around here at 70%. And then as the bull run started and everyone started making crazy amounts of money, you can see it went all the way down to a bottom of 41%. And I won't pull up the chart. Actually, you know what? Maybe it's worth pulling up the chart so I can give you a visual understanding of what happened with the Bitcoin price during that time. So the start of the bull run right here, basically around here. When it got to its previous all-time high of 20K, we did see Bitcoin go really high. It went up to 60K. It went 3x, right? That's really impressive. But at the same time, the Bitcoin dominance fell by almost 30%. So if the Bitcoin price was going up and the Bitcoin dominance was going down, what does that mean for altcoins? Well, as we can see, during the same time frame, Ethereum being kind of the mother of the altcoins, so it's most important to look at that. If we look at the start of the bull run, So, big Ethereum was dramatically underperforming Bitcoin by this stage, because by this stage, as I showed you before, Bitcoin had just reached its previous all-time high of $20,000. And Ethereum was dramatically underperforming. Its previous all-time high was 2K. And at the same time that the bull run had started, where Bitcoin had reclaimed its previous all-time high, it was only at $600. But as we saw, the Bitcoin dominance fell by 30%. What happened with Ethereum compared to Bitcoin? Bitcoin only went up 3x. What happened with Ethereum by comparison? It went all the way up to 4K. It went all the way up to 4K. So what is that? That's like an 8x. It dramatically outperformed Bitcoin. So this is why it's really important to be focusing on what's going on with the Bitcoin dominance. Now, this is going to have a doubly true effect for the smaller altcoins. So Ethereum is the biggest altcoin, and it outperformed Bitcoin by a factor of around 2x, right? But when it comes to things like Solana, BNB, XRP, Dogecoin, it went even further, right? Now, the title of this video is when should we buy Bitcoin / when is the altcoin bull run starting? Now, theoretically, you should say it would make sense to just buy during the the bull market, right? But that isn't necessarily the case, because the Bitcoin dominance goes up so much during that time. It implies that Bitcoin is either going up or remaining steady, or if the market's going down, it's going down less than the altcoins. And usually what happens is if you're buying Ethereum during the bear market, it's dramatically, not just Ethereum, but altcoins, it tends to dramatically underperform against Bitcoin, and you will lose money, at least in Bitcoin terms, during bear market. So it's not necessarily the case that you should buy when there's so much blood in the water and everyone's freaking out and everyone's worried they're losing money, right? So I'll give you an example. Last year was not a bear market. I'll just say that. 2023 was a good year. But that being said, if you bought Ethereum in the past 2 years, you are dramatically being outperformed by Bitcoin, which is not what you want. If you're in altcoins, you want your altcoins to outperform Bitcoin. But if we have a look here, it's done a 3x, from its bottom to its high. And you might say that's good, but where was Bitcoin at its bottom of this bear market? It bottomed out at like 16K. It's now at 100K. Bitcoin's done more than a 5x, and Ethereum's only done a 3x. So it's not certain that you'd want to just be buying altcoins during this bear market. So that's why I say this is a very timely video, because I'm not making this video during the bear market and telling you to hold on to your sats and wait for opportune timing. Again, not financial advice, but the time is pretty much now. Like, we are in the same stage of time that we were in back in like December / late November 2020, right? So we are in the stage of Bitcoin dominance falling. This is just the trend. And if we look back to it would have been 2016, which would have been a similar time frame to where we're at now. 2016, November, early 2016. That's when Ethereum was around $10, right? And then all the way to its peak to $2, right? So Ethereum 200x'd during that time, right? And it all starts in this particular period, November to December, a year before the face melting bull run starts. 2013, 2017, 2021, 2025. These are the main bull run years. Now let's get in a little bit into the technical analysis and try and get a bit further hints about when things are actually going to pop off. So Bitcoin has been trading in the Bitcoin dominance has been bobbing up and down between this channel. And it's a channel that started in November 2021 in 2022. So the 21st of November 2022. That's when Bitcoin dominance was at its lowest, and Bitcoin dominance would continue to rise through that time, respecting this trend line. It would bounce off, it would come up, and then it would bounce down, and there'd be little altcoin rallies. But for the most part, Bitcoin has been dramatically outperforming all of the altcoins since that time. since late 2022, and it's only been going up. If you'd been buying altcoins, unless there were like some high performing meme coins or maybe Solana, because Solana has been one of the few altcoins that have dramatically outperformed Bitcoin. Unless you got lucky with those alts, you've been falling short very, very much. I mean, imagine if you bought Ripple or Cardano down here, you would have been wrecked compared to Bitcoin. But we can see this trend line has been pretty fairly respected up until now. What we'd want to see is a break of the Bitcoin dominance below this supporting trend line. Now, it depends on when it's going to happen, but let's just say if it was to make a break soon, we can expect that as long as it gets below, sufficiently below 58%, and we get a weekly closing candle below 58%, then you can say it's very safe to say that the trend has started and the money is going to start flowing from Bitcoin to Ethereum. But at the same time, I don't think it's necessarily a bad idea to front run these trends, provided you've got a bit more macro information. So as I mentioned, these Bitcoin dominance, they tend to fall dramatically around the exact time that we're in within these 4-year cycles. So if you wanted to buy now, as opposed to waiting for the Bitcoin dominance to break this trend line, that's, I think, acceptable. I know a lot of traders say things like, don't try and front run the indicators, but I think in this case it's okay to do, because you have to understand, by the time it breaks 58%, I'm not saying it would be too late, but you'd basically miss out on such a large chunk of the action, because all indicators are showing what's happened in the past, right? So if you wait for this to happen, then Ethereum's already shot up like 2x compared to what Bitcoin has, right? You're already missing out on such a chunk of the action that if you buy in after the fact, then you're probably being exposed to a bit more risk, because you're now second or third in the game of musical chairs. And you want to be the first to sit down when you're playing that game, right? You want to be before everyone else is. And I'm making the prediction now that we're going to break this 58% sooner rather than later. It's probably, and when these things happen, and I've got to make a point about Ethereum, look at how these upswings work compared to Bitcoin. Like when Ethereum goes up, it goes up like 10x or something like that in like 2 months or a couple of months, right? It goes up dramatically within like these 1 or 2 day periods. And the last thing you want to do is buy when Ethereum's already gone 2 or 3x. It's not going to give you peace of mind, and it's putting you in a more dangerous position, because if you're doing this stuff to speculate, which is really what altcoins are about, then you want to get in before things go too crazy and then sell when everyone is panicking about trying to get their money out the door. So when it comes to Ethereum and when it comes to practically any altcoins, I think maybe with the exception of Solana, because Solana's been a bit of an exception to the rule, you want to get in before these straight lines happen, because once the straight line happens, it's really hard to ensure that you're in the right position, right? All of these altcoins, and let's look at, again, I'll give you a few other examples. I'll give you an example of a coin that I don't really like, but XRP is a very good example of this. When XRP basically does nothing, look at this chart. Despicable. Imagine holding XRP during this period, like 3 years, it does absolutely nothing. And then look, straight line. And you know when those straight lines happen? They happen over a period of like 3 days. You've got 3 days to take advantage of that, and then it's gone. So that's why I say it's a bit better to try and front run the indicators and not wait for things to get too crazy. Otherwise, you will be in a bad position. All right, here we go. So the last little indicator that I want to give you is something called the wave trend indicator. This is a nice one that I've been using for a number of years, and I put it on the weekly, and pretty much green dot means it's a good time. Bullish stuff is going to happen. Red dot is going to be bearish. And the best red and green dots are the ones that happen on the extreme. So when you get a green dot down towards the bottom, that's the best time to buy. And if you get a red dot at the top, that's usually the best place to sell. So as we can see here, we're at the top of this range. The red dot is indicating that we're pretty much in an oversold range. And even though the most recent one was a green dot, it's who knows how long this is going to be sustained for. And to be fair, the wave trend indicator has been showing that we're at these very high levels for a very long time. I mean, all the way since March. So you can't use this indicator in and of itself. But again, if you use indicators along with other macro indicators, I think it can be very useful. But it looks to me here that we're going to print a red dot. So we see this trend line cross. It would not surprise me if in the next 2 days we print a red dot. And who knows if that's a last red dot. Maybe we do go up and down in this channel. But again, just looking at the overall time frame, it would not surprise me. We get that red dot and we just slam through this trend line. We retest it. And then we go below 58% for good. And then we're off to the races. But again, not financial advice. But I think that is... that's my strategy at least, and I think it's going to do pretty well because that's what's worked well in the past cycles. So yeah, I can only go on by what has worked well in the past. So thanks a lot for watching this video, guys. If you're interested, please check out some of the referral links that I've given in the description down below. They're great ways to buy and sell crypto without KYC, and it's a great way to make money during this bull market. I talk a lot about peer-to-peer trading and how you can make money selling Bitcoin or cryptocurrency above market rate by providing the service of selling cryptocurrency via payment methods that aren't supported by major crypto exchanges. So it's a great way to make money during this market. And on top of that, because we're going into a bull run, you know what that means. Retail investors are going to be coming in. People are going to be buying. So this is there's never been a better time to get into peer-to-peer trading and start selling cryptocurrency because there's going to be a lot more customers these days. So if you're interested, check it out and check out some of my other videos on how to do peer-to-peer trading, and make sure to subscribe if you want, and I'll see you next time.